Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat. Welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be back with y'all today, and I hope everyone's having a good day. It's good to see you, Bad Roxy. Good to see you, Brayherd. And Brayherd, you are not first because Bad Roxy is first. Congratulations, you got first. I hope it is a first that grants rest for you and the baby. Hope you're doing okay. Get first while stopped at a red light. Roxy. Please don't text and drive. Please be safe. Yeah, you're punished with double ads. Okay, so I've been running as an experiment. I've been running a 3-minute ad break during the pre-roll because, you know, it's the pre-roll. It's just music. It's there to kind of let the system alerts. I'm not texting. I'm firsting. That sounds worse. Anyway, kind of let the system, you know, let the notification go out, let the systems normalize, etc. But I've been running ads, the 3-minute ad break during it, because if I do that, hopefully it means that folks who join later won't be met with ads, so that when new folks join during the stream, they get to just see the stream. So hopefully kind of being more inviting to them. So gonna keep doing that. If someone calls for artillery support during Lent, is that person requesting the Canon of St. Andrew? That's terrible, and I think it's a joke like only you and I are gonna get in this chat right now. Oh, that was bad. That was bad. On that note, we're gonna go to Minecraft. I need a palate cleanser. Okay, so last time we were working on the cistern here, and we were laying out where things were. I did a little bit of work off screen. Not a ton, but just enough to help give a sense of what it's supposed to look like. But yeah, so we have all the pillars out that far, 15 by 15. I worked on this section and filled it in, so you can kind of see what it's like repeating. Added the roof. This is going to be the base floor, kind of underneath the main floor of the Opera House. And then the whole cistern will be sealed in with cobblestone. So we'll have like a ladder to get down or something. Burn that bridge when we get to it. But the plan for today is to clear out the hill over here. Because this hill is obstructing the corner. Don't need you there. You're on the edge. So I kind of want to start digging at the farthest corner here to to establish the boundary, and then hollow it out. And much of the hill can actually stay on the far side because we're gonna build up to the level of the cistern. So we're gonna have to level out, flatten down some of it, but I'd rather do that after the fact. Don't want to leave too many the little items floating around. Can slow down the server. Oh, I also went and I mined up a bunch more granite to use. Nowhere near enough to complete the cistern, but a good portion. Could do with a bit more charcoal, so we'll cook that up. I also moved some resources because I figure we're going to need some sand and gravel over here because we're going to be wanting to make white concrete powder. And now that we have our boundary set, I'm just going to kind of layer this, or take this off one layer at a time. So how are y'all doing today in Twitch chat? You have a sleepy baby in one arm? Aw. Makes it hard to type. What are we building? We are currently building a cistern. That's going to be the base layer of an opera house. So right now we're digging out this hill because it was in the way. For the Phantom, right? Exactly! It's got to have a weird underground lake layer to hide in. Although I was doing some reading on it today, apparently the author, whose name suddenly escapes me, it's a very French name. Anyway, when they were building the opera house, they had to build a cistern because there was a lot of groundwater, and the pressure was actually going to destroy the foundation. And so they built the cistern as a way to equalize the pressure, as well as serve as a place where they would store water in case of fires. But it got very popularized that they had discovered an underground lake. No, they made a large body of water. Should learn from Homestar Runner. You should not throw the baby. Well, yeah, that is. Do not throw the baby. I think hopefully good parenting instincts are helping with that one too. Oh my goodness, it got worse. Gonna just leave the granite floating for now. We'll clean it up when we get to that point. It'll be a helpful marker for us. Midweek Minecraft! Hey Mel, what up? I'm doing pretty well. Just Chilling in Minecraft. Leveling out a whole hill. This is where the Opera House is going? Yep. So we're clearing out this one corner because it was in the way for where the cistern's gonna go. So we have the whole base of the cistern planned out. It's unfortunate, though, that I just overlapped this one little bit of hill. But we have the tools to solve that. On the waterfront? Are we building Sydney Opera House? Not quite. We're gonna wind up reshaping the land to hide the water. But it was easier to build over a body of water for the cistern than to build the cistern and then fill it with water, given Minecraft water physics. Oh, this is a rich vein of coal. Yeah, so we're leaving, like, this portion of the hill, because we're gonna, where the top of this is, we're gonna build up to it all the way around, and essentially cover up the water. Oh, stupid squid. I thought cephalopods were supposed to be intelligent. This will also help us get a lot more cobblestone, because we're going to have the outside of the cistern encased in that. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're almost to water level. We don't need this one to be very deep. It can just be, you know, one below the water level. So... Although, if I find any good resources in here, like this coal, grab that first. Oh. That was the wrong pickaxe. Okay, that one was less exciting. Okay, we got a good amount of coal out of that. All that digging. I look forward to using it all up. To make glass and stuff, probably pretty quickly. I need to go get my buckets. Oh man, there's an old meme. My bucket. No, they're stealing my bucket. There we go. Let's move that. Let's make a few more treasure chests, because we're gonna need them. Ew, there are spiders. I hate it. Come on. Get. I know you had a friend. Okay, the friend disappeared, so... I hear the spider. Well, I was trying to leave a retaining wall until I was finished, but we live here now. All right. That is the hill cleared away. Now we need to fill in the water. Calm and serene and non-thumb. The Urky Thumb is not real and cannot hurt me. The Urky Thumb is not real and cannot hurt me. The Urky Thumb is not real and cannot hurt me. What up, Urky? Hope you're doing well today. Today has been a day of all time, that is certain. I'd like to go home and play Sims 1. I am sorry to hear that it has been a day of all time, and I hope it gets better. I hope you get that chill Sims time. I'm doing just fine. Okay, I think that's leveled out. That was a lot easier than I expected it. Oh, wait, nope. A little misbehaving there, but we fixed it. Okay. Now that that's done, we can do the granite. How is there a gap with the water there? That looks improbable. I've looked so much at the stalls that Brit has made, and now see the Elytra as a stall. Yeah, I see it. But my Minecraft character has a stole. Although when I wear it with the pants, it looks like suspenders. So this should go up to 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. So 1, 2, those are fine. The way they are. One, two, three. That's as high up as it should go. 1, 2, 3. So, what is the cistern for in regards to an opera house? Or are they unrelated? Well, I mean, cisterns in general are kind of unrelated, but also not, because large buildings like this, at a certain time, it would not have been uncommon for them to have a cistern to catch rainwater, so that they would have water for what they needed for cleaning, etc., but mostly in case of fire, so they'd have a large body of water from which they could do a bucket brigade. The Paris Opera House, whose cistern in particular I am basing this off of, was designed apparently to relieve pressure from groundwater that otherwise would have destroyed the foundation. I'm mostly building this because I think it's cool. But yeah, it's not like a design thing where every opera house has a cistern. Lots of buildings throughout history have had cisterns in various configurations. And now we build pillars. So many pillars. There's still some flowing water around that one, but I think it'll get sorted out as we complete the construction. Because we're going to fill in this whole gap with cobblestone, so where a lot of it is flowing won't even be water in the end. Okay, that's giving us a sense of total scale now. We can barely fit each corner in our view window with this FOV. Just gonna grab a bunch of this. Yeah. Can't get my legs comfortable today. I feel like I went too small. I did not. Okay. It just felt off. So I've been on the fence about putting in lighting in the cistern. Because there won't be anywhere for a mob to spawn. So I'm not concerned about that with the water and everything. I think it'll look cool holding a torch as a light source, so... But I also kind of want to build like a little phantom vignette area. Maybe I'll have a boat with a villager in it to be the phantom. Make him the phantom over there. Purra. Also gonna need to figure out where we're gonna put the access. Because the thing is, this is not even gonna be like the base floor where folks would be walking into the Opera House. Because if you ever look like a cross-section of an old-style opera house, there's often like a little layer underneath where everyone's walking, where they've built the cantilevered angled area of seating for the orchestra area, and so there's a whole space underneath that's often used as like storage or running cables and things. So that's going to be the base layer of that. So the front doors, if you think about it, will be slightly higher. So somewhere we'll have a staff access and a hatch. What do you mean I can only sleep at night? I can see the stars. This is ridiculous. So rude. I think that they should add Minecraft to school curriculums because it helps you count and stuff. No joke, though, I do think there are actually good and creative ways to use Minecraft as an educational tool. But just me counting to 3 over and over again made me think of that. Made me laugh. I'm gonna need more granite. It's good not to take things for granted. Of course you would make a joke like that. How you doing today, kid? You're not igneous. Well. Tis bolder to suffer the slings and arrows of misfortune. All right. We have all our pillars built. Now we get to connect them. Magmanus. You do not get to roll your eyes now with the jokes you tell. Yeah, I do. Bad puns are not monolithic. No. Had a quick call with your recruiter to go over some interview preparations. She emailed me. She was amazed I read her email. I mean, I'm happy you did. I'm happy that she's helping you. That's awesome, and I hope the interview goes well. It's kind of sad that she's amazed, though. It's like, where's Beef Mass? Oh, he's invisible and right on top of me. It really is. It's not a long email. She gives good information. Yeah. Hey, Chad, is the world cooked? It is. I told her that most Americans read at 4th grade level, and I found that much easier to wait to give information and record myself in 2 to 3 minute long videos and email that instead. Much better closing rate on policies when you did that. I could see that, actually. Because, like, when you're closing on insurance, I imagine there's a lot of terms and conditions and fine print and things. And having a little human touch. You hate sales, that's also valid. Left a good impression with the third-party recruiter. Hey, that's, you know, considering their job is to say, hey, I think this person's a good candidate and present you, I think that's a good thing. Then I just request to connect with her boss on LinkedIn to see if I can get a remote job for what she does, which would be much preferred. Well, wasn't there that one recruiter? Is this the recruiter that's leaving her job? Which would imply an opening? That's what you're saying. Ah, okay, that is that one. It's called Jonas. I know nothing about them. I gotta imagine recruiter is not necessarily an easy position. It's kind of like sales, kind of HR. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying I don't know if I could do it. Still people facing, and I have to rely on information to get out of candidates to place them well, but I think I'm a good judge of character. Fair enough. I believe in your abilities, Mel. You're a character, how do we judge you? Goofy. Gorsh. See? Nailed it. All right, it's coming along. It's taking shape. We need more granite. I have a few more stairs, but not a lot. But yeah, I had several stacks of granite when we started today. Gonna take the quick way to get to the mines. Look at this deposit. Put down some light so we can work. See, while we're working the rotunda. Hey, Chizo. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Came in just in time for the rotunda. First of all, happy feast of Saint Agatha. In the gospel today, Jesus has the line, "A prophet is not, or is without honor in his homeland." Which, one, speaks to his own frustration in the moment, but two, does speak to a reality that I think a lot of the prophets face if we look at them throughout scriptural history. But a reminder of us also being willing to have open ears to those around us. That we might normally be like, you know, what do they know? He's a carpenter's son. Instead of being like, what they might have to say. Or what they are saying, and I'm just not listening. So the recruiter uses a program I used called Loom. Basically, you record a stream, webcam could be a little circle moved around, percent record desktop. Mel, that's like business streaming. That's business Twitch is what you're describing. I love it. It's so you. I think you should put that on your resume if you apply there. Honest, like genuinely and honestly, like knows how to produce live content and multimedia. Doing pretty well. A little stress brain here. Was Sunday's Gospel and who's speaking in his hometown? What was this Sunday's Gospel? I want to say it is, but I don't remember. Oh, right. This Sunday was presentation. I was trying to figure out, because we're in the year of Mark. I think. Are we in B or C? I've heard B. Oh, this is why I have a little book that tells me these things. But yes, this weekend was Candlemas. So the gospel for that would have been Luke. So that would have taken place in the temple. Was that last week? My brain is lost. That's valid too. The week before, I honestly wouldn't know because I didn't hear the third Sunday of Ordinary Time readings because it was the conversion of St. Paul and our patronal feast day. So we're able to celebrate that on the Sunday. Simeon this past Sunday? Yeah. Always mix up Simeon and Nicodemus. I wish I had a handy mnemonic. That's all. Because Simeon is Luke, Nicodemus is John. Yeah, I got nothing to be a quick, easy way to remember that. But I'm usually not the best person to be asking Bible trivia questions. Like, if you ask me, it's like, hey, what verse, what book, chapter and verse is this? I'll probably get the book right, but that's about it. I'm so bad at memorizing and like, I can talk to you about the flow, you know. Yeah, if you ask me, it's like, well, when does this happen in this gospel? I can tell you and give you context, but if you ask me for specific numbers, nah. Two weeks ago, he said, in your presence fulfilled. Yeah, there you go. Okay, we have more of this left, but I think that's enough for now. Should at least be enough for today. Love the shadow of the crosses on the spires. Still love that build. That was a great build. I'm looking forward to this. This is I'm really liking how this is shaping up already. And I have some ideas for more of the exterior on the upper levels. Still not sure what the best way is to place all of these. Like when I can stand, it's definitely this way. But in the deeper waters where I'm swimming, already that looks so cool. Oh, I'm in love. I'm on the fence again about lighting. I might make lanterns, though those are expensive in iron. Oh, speaking of which, I have some iron. I should start smelting that. But like maybe every 2, so 1 blank blank 1. I could have the I could have a lantern suspended in there. Because then there'd be some light, but it would also still be some pretty dark areas and kind of be a little spooky. Okay, that's the perimeter. That's pretty big. Because now I can just place the rest of these and not be concerned about placing them on the wrong side or anything. Fortunately, we're not going to have a ton of granite in the upper level. I think we'll have some as an accent, particularly in like the ceiling. You know, because if you've ever been to an old opera house, it's all sorts of decorated, very Baroque. I don't think we're going to do full gold, but we might do bronze with maybe some gold accent pieces. I was looking at pictures today of the Paris Opera House. Oh my goodness, that thing is so ornate. Like, just walking through it itself is practically a museum. If it ain't Baroque, don't fix it. There you go. See? Kid's got it figured out. Which actually, you know, the saying, you know, obviously play on the phrase, but it implies that Baroque is wrong, and that if it is Baroque, you should fix it. Which is an opinion Philip Neri would have had. Are you implying that if it is Baroque, it needs to be fixed? That's what I'm saying. I mean, Philip Neri certainly would have had that opinion. He hated Baroquing. So inevitably, right after his death, the church he was at was Baroqued. Why? Because it's ostentatious, and he felt that the money should be... You're typing with one hand, give you a break. I am. I'm saying... You and I are sharing the brain cell right now. Yeah, Philip Neri very much was like, no, let's build plain churches, and any money we would have used for decoration, let's give that to, I don't know, the poor. But decor is advertising. It can be, yes. And don't get me wrong, I am a fan of many beautiful churches. The one I'm at is quite well decorated. I'm just saying that was Philip Neri's opinion. And of course, it's ironic that as soon as he's dead, his church gets baroqued. Because that was an actual term, being baroqued. Like, using it as a verb, that was an actual thing. Commonly in Italian churches, they'd look at a church and be like, it's too plain. Let's baroque it. Renaissance Italy was a fascinating place. At least they didn't go medieval in a church. But Tish. I think we should bring back Art Deco. It's the closest thing we've ever had to architecture made by dwarves. I really love Art Deco. I would build something Art Deco in Minecraft, except you don't have quite the level of detail that you would need to do such a thing. I missed. Mid-century modern is easy, so is brutalism is easy. But we have done mid-century modern, the house we built. I do like mid-century. I don't like brutalism, though. All that concrete, it just gets sad after a while. Dear stairs, behave. Man, I remember when they put in upside down stairs in Minecraft. It was revolutionary. Turned my whole world upside down. Anyone do Escher in Minecraft? You can't necessarily get stairs sideways, but I think some people have definitely done Escher-like pieces, and also definitely optical illusions. You know, if you line things up at the right angle, you can do the infinite staircase one. The bobbing of the water keeps making me barely miss with placing these stairs. So I keep placing them right side up. We will get there. Oh no, we are out of stairs already. That was like 4 stacks of stairs. That's a lot of stairs. Stairmaster. I thought that was someone who won a staring contest competition. Okay, now we go to bed. It dark. Okay, how many do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so we have 55 left. 55 times 4 is 220. So that's how much we would grant it in order to complete this. So we currently have 120-ish. So we only need about 100 more. What would happen if I don't sleep? So at night, if it is pitch black, and within a certain range of your character, that's when the monsters appear. So they'll spawn in. And if you don't sleep, I think it's 3 days in a row, there are these, like, phantoms that come and attack you. No bueno. Hey, King Aragorn. Sorry. Welcome, my liege. Hope you're doing well today. This is the best I can do for a bow on camera with the microphone. So I think I know what I've decided to do as the bonus stream for hitting 400 followers. I think I will have an open challenge to gladiatorial combat. And by that I mean to just open invitation to folks in the community to play a game of Gladiator on Magic the Gathering Arena against me. So I know some folks who would be, who play Arena, Gale and Erky and Seb, Blake. Am I any good? Gale, am I any good? I play Magic most Mondays with Gale. I'll let Gale decide. But what deck would you bring? I think you could bring your mono white stacks. Just, you know, style. Okay, that's definitely enough. MBGS is probably your best deck. Yeah, it's... I hate how consistent that deck is. Prison deck is good for teaching new players how Magic works. I disagree. I think it's a good deck. I don't know if it's the best to I don't think it's for teaching beginners. Maybe teaching people who are transitioning from beginner to intermediate and teaching them the intricacies, but has Arena been running poorly for me? Ever since the newest update, it's been checking on your system. I haven't really played since the newest update, since we didn't get to play this week. It seemed fine. I played Sparky and everything. I did Elf Ball and it handled that just fine. Elf Ball. It's like Calvin Ball, but with elves. But yeah, I thought that would be a fun bonus stream. Probably have to start putting the word out now to get folks to build decks. Probably do that on like a Friday afternoon or something. Might even be a good opportunity for me to fine-tune some of my decks with the newer things. I want to try and at least get the stair portion done today. I think we can do that. We got about half an hour, 20 minutes, something like that. Because then next time we could do the, like there's a half slab representing vaulting, like on each cross beam. So we could do that, and then the upper level of the arches. How far am I from 400? I'm at 386 as of right now. So 14. Apparently this is a math stream today. We are doing lots of math. This would be so much easier and creative because I could just be flying, but that would defeat the purpose. I enjoy the challenge of making things in survival. It's not enough to have a palette, you must make the palette. Okay, I think that's... Hey, that's all of them. Let's go. We met my goal. I wanted to complete that today. So now we get to start working on this. Which will be a bit faster. So at least this I can do from up above. And with them completed, I can do it as a... I just zigzag one way, north and south, or well, east and west right now, and then go north and south. And fill in the other way. Ah! I was so close. Look at that. There it is. I almost had that so smooth going back and forth without stopping. Less smooth that time. I can't believe I slipped there. It's like tripping at the finish line and the person behind you finishing in first instead. But anyway, check that out. We have the base layer of the cistern completed. That's really cool. So what we can do now is, so we have to add, there's like this one bump that evokes an archway. And then we'll build the upper square, but that's just a square. That's a lot easier. And we already have the platforms to build it on. and then the birch. And then what we'll do is we'll fill in the land, which means we're probably going to make this an underground base to start with. But we'll fill in the land, and what we'll do in particular up here is with the river. We're going to wind up basically building an artificial level over it, so you will still be able to like swim underneath in the water to get into the cistern. That's one way in. But from the outside, it will simply look like a hillside terminating on the water. We're going to turn this river basically into 2 bays. So that's what we'll be doing next time, is finishing this off, and then as we continue, gonna need to grab more granite for sure. But as we work on that, that'll come together quite nicely, and then we'll start working on the terraforming, and then we can start the actual opera house proper. And part of the terraforming will also be encasing the whole cistern in cobblestone, so that from the edge, or on the edge, on the inside, we'll look a certain way. I want to do a thing really quickly. So that's what I want. Yeah, that's going to look good for lighting. And it won't be in every single one. It'll be like 2 blanks, and then this one would have another. And we'll offset them diagonally. But yeah, that's coming together really nicely. We're making good progress. It looks so cool. I love it. I'm so happy with it. So, but I think that's a good place to call it for today. A little early, but you know, I think it's a good place to wrap up. So. So thank you so much for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be with y'all today. Join us again tomorrow as we play The Manhole. It's a point-and-click adventure from my childhood, full of memories, full of weirdness. It's made by Cyan, the same people who did Myst, which is what we will be doing for Throwback Thursday the following week. We're actually going to try for a full playthrough of Myst. We'll see, but it should be good. Join us again on Monday for more Kingdom Hearts 2. Tuesday, we will be starting Exodus Vigil. It's a puzzle game about the Exodus. And then on Wednesday, Midweek Minecraft. And like I said, when we get to 400 followers, going to do that bonus stream. Should be fun. So I'm going to start putting out that word, I think, about it. So yes, I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. And thank you to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, given bits. Thank you to everyone who's checked out the YouTube and the Discord. And why don't we see who's live to raid into? Gonna send you on over to Yuha. He's playing a game called Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It's the sequel, I guess. It's like a medieval hack and slash, but because it has the word deliverance in it, we're gonna have a pun on that. So the raid call is gonna be Delivery from Father. With the meat morph if you've got it. Posted it there in chat if you want to use it. So, all right. Gonna send. Need to get around to finishing KCT1. That sounds like a mouthful. But anyway, I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Take care and God bless.